Time immemorial, time past, time present, time future. The constant aspect still remains time. Time is actually the most important thing because with time, you can actually make money. Now tonight, we actually put a spotlight on the entertainment and events. How has the pandemic times hit them? Ladies and gentlemen, most enlightened and actually very able to aid our understanding on this particular topic is a man, ladies and gentlemen. He is the benchmark for the emceeing in East Africa. Actually, all of us want to be like him. Ladies and gentlemen, when he's on the mic, he is the ladies' charmer, Dr. Mich Egwang, CEO for Eclipse Events. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to him. Let's find out. Remember, we're talking events, we're talking entertainment, and we're talking money. Thank you very much for talking to us, Dr. Mich.
Are we really supposed to shake hands? In the beginning, you talked about social distancing and the rest. So I think you've just shot yourself in the foot. Huh?
But I saw you sanitizing, and I sanitized as well. All right. Okay. Dr. Mich, you come with a buffet of experience for 22 years with Eclipse.
Yeah.
Not forgetting Capital FM Juba. You have Monitor Publications.
Yeah.
You're the perfect person to tell us whether we're still on the right track as far as events and marketing, or is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
Okay, let me tell you something, Shadrach. Huh? The situation I want to paint right now is, imagine you, close your eyes for a second, put a chain around your leg, attach the chain to a house. Now try and run. Try and run.
I'm being held back.
Exactly.
I'm being held back.
That's exactly where we are. Because you see, COVID has done something that no business school could ever prepare you for.
Right.
What it did is that it turned the entire world on its head. So, light at the end of the tunnel? I don't know. Because someone once said that if you see a light at the end of the tunnel, don't run towards it because it could be an oncoming train. So you gotta be careful.
Yes, sir.
But what I can tell you is that what COVID has done is that it has helped us all to reevaluate ourselves, to rethink, to re-strategize, and actually come up with an entirely new business model. You know what happens in life is that the businesses that survive are not usually the ones which have the most amount of money.
Talking about money, on that point exactly, I want Mary here to get you what you want. Mary, could you just give me a glass of juice? And I don't know what Dr. Mich would want.
Since he's having juice, let me be like the boss.
Okay, so go on.
Yeah, so it's not the companies that have the most amount of money
Thank you very much.
that are actually going to survive the test of time, but it's the ones which are most capable of, one, evolving with time.
Right.
Case in point, everybody knows, if you're a Mukade like me, you've heard of a company called Kodak.
Kodak, yes.
And they used to be very big back in the 80s with instant cameras and the rest. But then these digital cameras came up and Fuji became big and these guys thought, no, people like 35 millimeter cameras and people love these things. Nobody's going to touch us.
Right.
Lo and behold, in no time flat, digital cameras became a thing of the day. Any single individual who had a phone now didn't need a camera.
A Kodak, yes.
So basically they became obsolete because they didn't pay attention to what was happening.
Right.
So this is exactly what COVID has done. We know for a fact that there are vaccines. AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer, all sorts of vaccines are out on the market, but the question is, they will protect you for some time and then the virus decides to mutate.
Again.
So then you have to get another one. Yes. So will it work? I don't know. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit back and start crying and saying, Shadrach, things are tight, give it up? No. So what you do is that as an organization, you think, what can I do to stay ahead of the game? Right. If the game has put me down and attached me to a house, how can I use the house now to make money? So that's what we've had to do in the events and marketing sector. Because you see, our business is events, marketing, concept development, it's all in one.
Okay, so Please have a juice.
Cheers to
Cheers
to evolution.
to evolution.
Yes.
Now, before we go for a short break, how have you managed to survive? Yes, you've evolved, but how, to someone who is watching you, how have you managed, like hands-on points, how have you managed to stay in business?
Okay, let me tell you what. Case in point. We were shut down March last
Year. Yes.
Nobody could move, nothing could happen, and there was no way we could make money. We couldn't do what was our bread and butter. You know, getting together, engaging with consumers face to face. So we said to ourselves, what do you do? How do you leverage on not being able to see people? And the big thing then was digital.
Yes.
And everybody was, oh, you need to use digital. Oh, Zoom is there. I said, okay, great. So we took advantage of elections. And everybody thought, oh, election is going to be an opportunity. So we said, why don't we take digital and map it to elections? So we are the only organization that came up with a strategy, which actually we walked around and peddled it to most of the different political parties and individuals. And I'll have you say that every single candidate that we did digital marketing for went through.
Right. So actually talking about the digital elections and digital campaigning.
Yes.
Were you an expert at that, or you just researched because
Because
there was
and you
occasion
said,
demand?
but that's the thing. You know, someone says that opportunity befits the prepared. Already, yes, we had done some dabbling in digital.
Right.
We used to manage people's social media accounts and the rest. But because of the fact that this was a totally new area, what you do is you go and sit down. Osoma. So we picked up with books, hit the midnight hour, came up with a lot of farm concepts and peddled them. And guess what? It made us some money.
Right, now we're going for a short break, but before we go, Tusker Project Fame, just give me a brief, because growing up I watched you, very intelligent, very eloquent on there. Just give me the experience. How was the experience?
Tusker Project Fame was a platform. The gentleman who called me up actually used to be the MD of one of the companies here in Uganda. And he said, Mitch, we're looking to East Africanize the brand.
Right.
And we need you to come and represent Uganda, but at the same time, be somebody who is, you know, palatable to the whole East African community. I said, okay, no problem. I said, do you have money? The guy said, I don't have a budget. I'll kid you not that I was paid even less than what I was earning for MC engagements here in Uganda.
I refuse to believe.
I kid you not, Shadrach.
refuse to believe.
Let me tell you what.
Tusker.
Let me tell you what. It's because the budgets had already been passed by the time they called me. But you see, I accepted to do it because I was building a brand, and I knew if I make myself indispensable, Shadrach won't be able to do without me the next season. And that's what happened. By the time I left, I think I was earning probably 15 to 20 times more than I earned in the first season.
So let's paint a picture. The first season, you fly to Nairobi. I don't know whether, like Chameleon says, Basi, Korea.
Business class.
Business class?
First, okay, Gamba first class.
First class, you fly to Nairobi.
5-star hotel.
5-star hotel.
Yep.
For free.
For free. They even give me clothes.
Suit what?
Everything. Everything.
Let me go for a break. When we come back, we actually talk to the youths that are actually trying to evolve or get where you are. Me personally, I would like to be also where
by the way, I'm still also a youth, so don't leave me out of the conversation.
Yes, so you talk to them and we get back into how COVID has affected us. Now, do not go away. You're still on the continent's leading intellectual platform. You can be the judge with Dr. Mich. Now, do not go away. The desk returns in a bit. And welcome back to the second segment of this very lovely episode of The Desk, where we're actually talking events, marketing, and money. Now, the man in the chair, he's not a man who just watched things on TV, pocketed them, and now he's telling us. He's a hands-on man. He's been running his company for 22 years. And I tell you, you better sit back, relax, better lean forward, or even stand up, because Dr. Mich is on the desk.
Shadrach, kolaba nyo TV.
Yeah. So this man went first class to Nairobi. He wasn't paid anything. He came back, but that was the turning point for his life. Take us from there.
No. But I think that's the thing which a lot of people have to understand. There is a need sometimes to sacrifice and to invest before you harvest.
Invest before
sacrifice, invest before you harvest. Because you see, we've been brought up in a life whereby you expect instant happiness, instant fame, instant success.
Some people call it microwave.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work. This one here, it is you put it underneath in the sigiri. And you blow. Yes. But it takes time, because it honestly, I think, I would say it took me an entire season and a half before East Africa started warming up to me. By the time I had done 4 seasons, I'll kid you not, I used to hold my bosses hostage because I never used to sign the contracts which they give me. I used to always negotiate and add a zero. Give me more terms. How many friends can I bring? What's my per diem this year? You see, because you see, as you're bringing value, and you see, that's another thing. When you work, don't just work and do your job, Shadrach. What other value can you bring to the process? Because one of the things I told them is, look, I'm not just going to do my job. You guys are trying to get numbers, because by that time, that's when SMSs had just become big. Each SMS was, I think, 500 shillings one of the years. So I said, I can guarantee you that I will get people involved. So I'm not going to ask you for a percentage of that, though I should have, but I'll say I'm going to generate numbers for you. And that year, I think, I'll tell you statistically, we did more SMSs as Tusker Project Fame than Big Brother did on the entire continent.
Wow. Actually, before we get back into the business, you know, we're digressing.
Yeah.
But as we wind up this whole thing, what gave you the confidence to actually negotiate like that?
This is it. When you think that you can do a good job, start on the journey, but keep working at it. Because you see, the craft that God blessed me with is not a story which is an overnight success. I'll tell you the truth that my first time I think I picked up a microphone was in Namliango College way back in 1990, before you were born. And till today, I think I've done like close to 3,200, 3,300 events.
Let's just talk about you negotiating. Why are you negotiating? Because you thought you were the best?
No, and you see, that's another thing. I never used to have the perception that I was good. What I used to do is that I used to work with a very simple principle. You're only as good as your last show.
Yeah, right.
You understand that? Because you could do a great first or opening episode. The next show, you start from scratch again. Building an audience, engaging, making sure that you're funny, making sure that you're on point, making sure that you're spontaneous. But all of that, every single time you get a microphone, it's a new opportunity for you to try again, to do good work.
To do good work.
That's it. Never let it get to your head that you're good.
Right. You've hit the nail on the head. So getting back into the business, Dr. Mich, you talked about evolution.
Yes.
Does it take money for someone to evolve?
I would tell you, actually, if it did take money, all the companies that had money would not have struggled during COVID, but that's not the case. I honestly believe evolution comes because of need. In fact, poverty is the greatest driver of creativity. No.
You're running away from it.
No, quote me. Poverty is the greatest driver of what? Creativity. When you have money and things are coming in, you're going to be sitting back, chilling, wearing purple outfits with waistcoats. But when you don't have money in your pocket and when you don't see an opportunity coming, that's when you're going to go and sit down and say, hey, things are tight. What can I do to preemptively ensure that I can put food on the table tomorrow? That's when you start thinking.
But on the other hand, it's the greatest root of evil, when you have no money.
When you have no money?
Yes.
I don't know which Bible you are reading. You need to reread it.
I'm actually a practicing Christian.
Okay, well, read some more.
Okay. Go on.
Well, so I think it's important that when you don't have, you think of opportunities to make a little bit more. Take for example now, the last, I would say the last 10 to 15 years. Yeah. As a business, we've had to evolve, not because of financial inadequacy, but also because you see the market evolves with time. Right. Consumer trends also evolve. The demand, yes, sir. The demand might be high at a certain point, but change afterwards. Like at the beginning of the business, we used to do a lot of consultancy and event management. Right. Cut forward 3 to 4 years, there was something called experiential. Right. Everybody was excited about experiential. Right. What's experiential? Right. Tell me, I'll forget. Show me, I'll remember. Involve me, I will understand your brand. Right. So anything you can do which brings to life. Like you remember there's a time I think Zayn brought R. Kelly and then we gave out a Range Rover. Yes. That was our company that did that. Wow. Then we had buses. For the first time we put screens in buses and sound systems, and we had chicks with pom-poms moving all over the country. Experiential. Yeah. But guess what? After a certain time, yes. Consumers get tired, you move on. Next thing we see, everybody is excited about production. Yes. TV. So we got into production. We did, I think we did the Now Special Pool Tournament. We did Bank of Uganda Schools Challenge, Stanbic National Schools Challenge. Last year we did something for Sekanyolia, the Sekanyolia whatever, security show. Yes. All that because of evolution. There's a need. Consumers, they want something different. Now, COVID has put everything on their head. What is the new thing? What can you leverage on now? Digital. So all the ideas that you have now must be built around that, because I must tell you that there's something that God has put on my heart. In the next 6 to 12 months, I will be a different person. Hallelujah. Amen. We just went to church. So just be on standby. There's something that we're cooking which is leveraging on digital and which has long-term ramifications. But it came because of the inadequacies of COVID. Right. We didn't have access to money, but it made us think. Right. So as we go for a short break, Doctor, COVID has actually exposed non-thinkers, because non-thinkers are out of the game. UCC, the views expressed on this show are his, only his. Non-thinkers, non-innovators are out of the game. Okay. So it's for people who are thinking. Now, you as a business, talk to someone who is watching, actually look into this camera and tell the person who is watching you, they have a beginner business or something, and maybe they're trying, maybe they're even kicking the bucket as far as, business is concerned. What should they do? Okay. I'm going to say it again, that poverty is the greatest driver of creativity. And if you don't have the brain cells, the neurons, the neurology to be able to come up with great ideas for a business, do something that one of my former bosses told me. And this is a great piece of wisdom. Know what you know and know it well. Know what you don't know. And number 3, know someone who knows what you don't know. Let's do that again. Yes. But please, with all these quotes I'm giving, I hope you're paying for the drinks. Know what you know, and know it well. Know it well, yes. Number 2, know what you don't know. Understand your knowledge gaps. And then number 3, know someone who knows what you don't know. So what that is that Shadrach, I might have no idea, zero about construction. Right. But I know my Jama Shadrach knows that stuff. But me, I'm really good at marketing and events, and I have a little bit of kamani. Yes. So why don't I, if I want to diversify my business and get into construction and real estate management, call in Shadrach to fill in the gap, utilize my knowledge in marketing and the little funds that I have, and utilize your abilities to grow. Unfortunately, we as Ugandans, we think that we can do everything at once. At once. Katogo. And that's what happens. You get fwa. Just like that. We're going for a short break, but this is just to actually add to what you said. I have a friend of mine, he actually studied in the UK. He told me the only way you would know that black man is from Uganda at school, you just see him at campus walking like this, with the head down, that you would know that is Ugandan, is it? Really? Let's go for a short break.
Now this man, the veterinary doctor who refused to go and treat animals, you can never exhaust him. Do not touch your dial. We're still on the continent's leading intellectual platform, The Desk. Now because the man who refused to treat animals, Dr. Mich, is on the desk, we're coming back. So Eclipse is a reflection of your personality as a person.
I think Eclipse was my passion at the university. The first gigs I did were engagements for the different halls. Then we took it up and then we did consultancies in South Sudan. Then after that we started working with brands, the big brands that I think our first client 001 was the Daily Monitor. Then we got KCB, and then after that we got Zain. Oh man, and Zain is our longest standing customer because Zain was then bought by Airtel, and we've worked with Airtel ever since in Uganda, ever since 2008. So by the time you stay with a brand for that long,
yes,
it's an indication of faith in your abilities, and that kind of loyalty is because you're doing a good job.
Right.
So with our motto, where others stop is where we start. And that's our commitment to innovating, and the fact that we are always dedicated to doing a good job. I think it says something.
Are young entrepreneurs in the marketing and events industry just lazy? Because I have people sitting on your chair, on that chair you're sitting on every day, young entrepreneurs sprouting up, telling me there are no opportunities. Aren't they looking enough, or they sarcastic?
I'll tell you what, and just like you said, if you look at any population, you're going to find innovators. You're going to find early adopters. You're going to find the early majority, late majority. But of course, there are also guys called the laggards. So it's up to you to define where you want to be. Wake up in the morning and say, Lord, give me the wisdom to be able to be an innovator. It's up to you because knowledge is there. It's just up to you to go out there and grab it, just like that mango.
Wow. As we wind up this is actually, I'm digressing, but I just want to get your thoughts. Do you have children, Dr. Mich?
2 fantastic kids. I've got Michelle, who's 9. Stress factor, she thinks she's too smart. Then I've got Marcel, who is 7. Marcel now, I think that one there is a spitting image of me, just browner. Huh? just like browner. Just browner.
Let's talk about Michelle.
Yeah? Yes.
God forbid it doesn't happen. But this COVID has actually brought a question in my mind. The rates of the girls that have actually gotten early pregnancies and the ones that have gotten into early marriage has skyrocketed with the lockdown. Does that try to say that parents like you are negligent, or schools have been doing a much better role to keep the children in school for 1 year?
Tell you what, I, as a parent, during lockdown, you see, of course, there were the demerits. Businesses are suffering, but I'll have to say that my relationship with my kids has never been stronger. I go home now every single evening, do homeschool with them. Before they started opening up for online classes, I was the one who was sitting. At home, they call me teacher daddy or doctor daddy. Right. And we sit down, and it has helped us to grow closer. Not every single parent has the luxury of time, but I think with every single opportunity you have to be able to create a closer, to bridge that gap, you take advantage of it. And I think that's one of the good points with COVID. It helped us to grow closer to our kids.
So what explains the numbers? Is it that schools have been doing a much better job than you people? Because...
Now you see, the thing is this, when you bring me onto the show, and you bring me on as a marketing and implementation specialist, then you start asking about early pregnancy. Are you saying that I'm one of the propagators?
No, that was a digress.
No, but I must say, schools do a good job.
Yeah.
They keep our kids in check, and I'm looking forward to having them back.
To having them back.
Yes.
But you know why I also brought up this? You're the master of everything. This is Dr. Mich.
Really, really. Let's just say schools do an awesome job,
Right.
and I'm looking forward to them coming back, because that also will help us to invest more time, so that you don't hear that Dr. Mich came onto the show, but 2 years later he collapsed. His businesses didn't make it.
Right, right. It is a wrap. Thank you very much for coming to the
Pleasure. God bless. Looking forward to seeing you on global platforms.
I receive.
The sky is the
BBC.
limit. Amen.
BBC. All right, now you've been a lovely audience. Thank you very much for always keeping yourselves glued onto the continent's leading intellectual platform. We call it the highest platform for solution finding, The Desk. Now, until next week, same place, same time, and of course, same host. Good night, good luck, adios, for God and my country, and may the good Lord bless this beautiful Uganda. Good night.